And now to an NBC 10 I-Team investigation, calling in sick. What if you could stay home from work but get paid double?
Well, the I-Team's Katie Davis got a tip that cops in one local town were doing just that.
Katie shows us what happened when she took what the I-Team found out to the chief.
Calling in sick. Most of us have done it at one time or another. But what if staying home could actually be more lucrative than going to work?
You're making more working the detail than you would be working your regular job.
Right.
The NBC 10 I-Team got a tip that a handful of police officers in Swansea called in sick, then showed up a few hours later to work paid police details. That can get expensive for taxpayers. Average pay for a Swansea patrol officer about $27 an hour. When another officer has to fill the sick officer's shift on overtime, it costs at least $40 an hour. Then the sick officer earns detail pay of another $40 with a 4-hour minimum, at least $160. The I-Team dug through time card records to see who called in sick and when. The results, in the past 3 years, 7 of Swansea's 31 officers called in sick and then worked a detail in the same 24-hour period. After the I-Team requested a log of sick time and details going back 3 years, the chief took a look at the same information we did.
We're going to move forward. We're going to be better. So I appreciate your inquiry.
Chief George Arruda told me he was aware of one incident this year, but when he took a closer look at the same records the I-Team reviewed, he spotted several more.
I went through and found approximately 5 to 7 details where officers had worked when they called in sick.
The chief says 3 of the officers in question had legitimate explanations, like working a detail first and then leaving work due to a family emergency. As for the other 4,
I've met with these officers. If someone calls in sick, they're not authorized to work a detail. If it happens in the future, they'll be suspended.
We took what we found to the Massachusetts Taxpayers Foundation.
The idea that the same individual would call in sick and then do a police detail, that's a first that I've heard of.
Mike Widmer believes the real problem is New England's police detail system. The numbers in Swansea are small, but Widmer says anytime details can pay more than a regular day's work, it's an invitation for abuse. The I-Team found several Swansea officers made an extra $20,000 a year or more by working details. One officer topped the list with $27,000 in detail pay for the 2011-2012 fiscal year, including one instance where a sick call and a detail fell on the same day.
I found out that calling in sick and then showing up at a detail site a few hours later wasn't against Swansea's department policy, at least until now. Following the I-Team's record request, the chief says he made that off limits going forward. I'm I-Team reporter Katie Davis, NBC 10 News.
All right, are these details necessary? Well, there's another option that many states use instead. Katie will take a closer look at that part of the story tomorrow night as we continue our coverage. In the meantime, if you have a tip for the I-Team, call it in 401-455-9123 or send an email, iteam@wjar.com.